Hi everybody and welcome to today's video. Today we're doing a notebook review and it's a pretty well known notebook. It is the Rhodia Web Notebook, or commonly referred to as the Webbie. This is a dot grid version of the book and one commonly used for things such as bullet journaling. You can see there on the back it gives some of the dimensions and such of the book, which we'll quickly run through now. So it's 14 centimeters by 21 centimeters, or 5.5 inches by 8.3 inches. It's 96 sheets or 192 pages of dot grid paper. It says with a ribbon bookmark, an expandable inner pocket, 90 GSM ivory brushed vellum paper, which is made by Clairefontaine. Now, these are really good sort of hardcover A5 notebooks, and as you can see here from the one that I've already sort of opened up, they have a nice sort of soft fake leather sort of cover. It has a bit of give to it, but it's pretty firm there. Nice sort of soft binding on the spine, a slight hangover over the edge of the pages, and nice sort of rounded corners. The elastic cover strap, it's not overly tight, but they do sort of last reasonably well, as I've found on previous Webbies. And one thing I love about these books is that they do sit open pretty flat. The paper has a nice sort of waxy smoothness to it, which makes it perfect for fountain pens, and as you can see, the ribbon there is a nice sort of way of delineating in your book where you are up to or finding particular pages. So a very quick sort of overview of what I like and what I don't like about the Webbie. First thing that I really like is how sturdy the covers are. They are really nice hardbound, and so which makes them quite resilient. In fact, this is a book that I have used for about 4.5-5 months. And this was in bags. This was thrown around a bit, everyday life sort of use as a bullet journal, and it sort of held up incredibly well. And as you can see there, the elastic band is still holding the cover quite securely. So I like the make quality of the Webbie notebook. I love the little embossed logo on the cover. I think it's actually quite a nice touch, and I adore the paper quality. I think this is really great fountain pen friendly paper. The ghosting and show through is minimal. Bleed is minimal, feathering is virtually none. It takes quite a lot to actually get anything to feather on this paper. I like the ivory sort of tone of the paper, and I really like how it opens flat. What I don't like, and this is only in comparison to other brands of similar notebooks such as the Leuchtturm 1917, is I wish that there were numbered pages, and for things like bullet journaling, that there was an index. Now, Rhodia have tried to allow for some of that with their new gold book, which is their answer to the bullet journal, which was taken up by Leuchtturm. The only issue with the gold book is that it is a semi sort of a soft cover sort of notebook, as opposed to the hard cover which we get here and with the Leuchtturm. Apparently the cover is a beautiful quality of the gold book, and I'll be looking to do a review of one of those once they're more widely available. But in these regular Webbies, it would be great to have numbered pages, and as I said, an index would be fabulous as well. It does have the expandable pocket on the back, which is always really handy, but these always feel a little bit sort of flimsy to me, so I don't sort of push the envelope, pardon the pun. Okay, so let's look at the paper quality, and here's a range of tests I have done on the paper. It's been put through quite a few tests with different pens and nibs and inks and all those sorts of things. I'll just run through sort of what we've got here. So we've got a Noodler's X Feather ink in a Pilot Metropolitan Fine, Iroshizuku Kujaku in a Twisby 1.1mm Eco, Noodler's 54th in a Jinhao X450, but with a Goulet 1.1mm nib. This is like one of those inks that I like to test books out on. Aurora Black in a Flex nib. We've got Noodler's Base State Blue in a Jinhao 599, which is a fine nib. We've got Pilot Light Blue, which is what the cartridge was labelled, in a Pilot Metropolitan Medium. We have, now moving away from fountain pens, we have a rollerball, the Pentel Trudio Black, a ballpoint, the Lamy ballpoint. We've got a Sharpie fine liner. We've got a Sharpie Ultra Fine marker, which is a permanent marker. We've got the Unipin Fine Line Black, 0.3. We've got a brush pen with Sailor Gentle Black ink in it, a Palomino Blackwing 602. Stabilo highlighters, both the yellow and the blue version there over a ballpoint pen, and then a couple of little extra bits. So we've got here a Crayola marker. I know a lot of people like to use these on bullet journals to sort of give a nice sort of colourful outline to things and a bit of artistic work and maybe some lettering. I've also got a watercolour paint there, which was what I would consider to be a medium sort of transparency or dilution of the watercolour. And then I've got here Robert Oster Fire and Ice, which is on a little swab, just to see if we get any sheen. Now, I know that this paper is going to sheen a little bit. You can see it ever so slightly on the Kujaku here, so it does have the capacity for it, and as you can see there from the Robert Oster Fire and Ice, it does sheen quite beautifully. Now, just for that Palomino Blackwing, have here just an eraser. I'm just going to see how it erases. So this is just a basic 602 model, the standard one, and a basic Faber-Castell eraser. So as you can see, with very little effort, a little bit of squeaking from my desk, able to remove the lead pretty easily, which is both a sign of the good quality pencil, but also that this paper has a nice sort of smooth surface on it. Now, if we look at the reverse of this page, we'll start to see how things have responded. So we have a little bit of bleed through here from the swab of Fire and Ice, which is to be expected. Quite a lot of ink was laid down. We also have the Sharpie ultrafine marker bleeding through a little bit. Once again, absolutely to be expected. What is a little unexpected is how little we get coming through from the Flex, which also lays down quite a lot of ink, and Aurora Black is quite a wet ink. We do get a little bit of sort of punching through just on the L there, where I think the pen, as it is quite a sharp nib, has sort of broken through the paper ever so slightly. My new standard for testing papers is Noodler's Base State Blue, and as you can see, Base State Blue does bleed through ever so slightly with quite a lot of show through, but apart from that, not a lot else actually does. The brush pen is still nothing. The watercolour remains there. The Crayola Texture marker, even that doesn't even come through at all. So that's really well behaved paper. Now, if we look at the in terms of feathering, there's really not a lot at all. There's ever so slight little bit occasionally from Base State Blue, but that's not a particularly well behaved ink, but you have to look pretty closely to see even that. So as you can see, this paper is incredibly fountain pen friendly, and also it's just a really well behaved paper with a multitude of inks, nibs, and different pen options. Just as I do on most of my little paper or notebook reviews, I'll do a little writing sample just here in the book. Here I have a Lamy Safari fine nib, and I've got this inked up with Waterman Serenity Blue, or the old Florida Blue, I think it was called. As you can see, it's smooth paper. It sort of, there's not a lot of tooth. The writing experience is incredibly pleasant on this paper. Waterman Serenity Blue. So this is smooth paper. It is sort of waxy. It's coated. Clairefontaine paper has a coating on it which allows it to be fountain pen friendly, but there is a slight payoff to that, and that is the dry time. So once again, this is a fine nib with not a particularly wet ink, and it just, I even let it sit there for a second. It really doesn't even absorb much sort of at all. It takes quite a lot of time to dry on this paper. So that is a payoff you do expect when you have these sorts of waxy paper But there we are, the Rhodia Webnote A5 book, the Webbie. A favourite of bullet journalers and note takers sort of around the world. Beautiful French-made paper, a really lovely, well-made book, and a great option for bullet journaling and for regular journaling. It also comes in a larger size, the A4 size, which is beautiful, beautifully made and beautiful, the same sort of paper. So if you want something slightly bigger, that's a really great option. I hope you found that video useful. If you did, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Hit the notifications button if you want to stay up to date with the videos that I produce. And please feel free to drop me a message if you've got any products or information you'd like to pass on, or if you've got any questions about anything that I'm highlighting in my videos. You can do that either here on YouTube or at Instagram, Twitter, or on my blog, which are all linked down below. Oh, I forgot to show you one little test I did. Just while I remember, just for fun, because I do this with my daughter a lot. You see here a nice sort of empty spot on the page. Well, that's how it reacts with a UV pen. Just so you can see that. Nice little bit of fun. In the meantime, enjoy your pens, enjoy your paper, and I'll talk to you later.